still build this thing, man. You know what I mean? When I come out the shit, I want to make sure everybody there. You heard me, man. You already know. And our thing is getting on the square and talking to socio-political things, man. Socio-political issues. Entertainment, you know what I mean? Because that's the thing that makes the world go round. I mean, you got to have some levity in this. Without levity in this, man, you're going to be in trouble. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to smile to look at all this nonsense going on, man. I was just now checking the joint, man. And I didn't know, man. It's extensive with the Nicki Minaj thing. It ain't just about her waving that gold card at people saying, yo, this is the way to do it. It's about what she made before she was able to wave the gold card and say, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? And now she's shutting the door on everybody else, man. You know what I'm talking about? Who's still trying to tread in that way so that they can find a way to make this place their stay. You understand what I mean? But to do that and then to gloat about it because, after, looking at the joint and doing some research about it, Nicki Minaj was an illegal immigrant. She came from Trinidad when she was a kid here. You know what I mean? She was a kid and they didn't do the paperwork right. You know what I mean? So when she got into the rap industry and was able to find opportunity here, right here inside the land of milk and honey, she was an illegal, man. You know what I mean? And so for her to be coming out now, man, speaking about illegal people inside that way or the illegals in that way, whatever the term, the most popular term it is when we speak to the people that's going through what they going through with ICE, it's just a backhand smack to the face in front of everybody. And that's where I think the sellout part come in at. You understand what I'm saying? It's like you shutting the door on everybody else, yet that was the door that you had to pass through in order to solidify your spot over here. You understand what I'm saying? And then we see that with America by and large. It's the same thing. You understand what I'm saying? This is a country that touts itself, you know what I mean, that touts its horn as saying that we are, a land of many so that we can become one. And look at how they going about it with ICE, man. The thing with the illegals is a slippery slope because on the one hand, a lot of things that the Republicans pointing out to do have some merit to it, man. You can't be coming to the country and then, killing people, man, committing crimes. You can't do that. You see what I'm saying? And then with the labor force, you understand what I'm saying? The labor force is real, man. You get the Latino population, they come over here from, Ecuador and Mexico and all those places like that, man. And them dudes be, you know what I mean? They get the spot because they some hardworking people, man. I give it to the Latinos. They some hardworking people. That's the irony of seeing Trump flip on them because they the ones that built all these buildings. But any old way, they'll come over here and be willing to work for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And so now you messing up the pay grade inside the labor force. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of things you can find sentiment with and agree to and be like, yo, you know what they saying is right. But the method upon which they are taking, you understand saying, to, snatch these people up, man, you understand saying, and the way that it's being exposed, it's just appalling, man. It's just appalling. I gotta call it for what it is. It's appalling, man. You know what I mean? If you have any education, man, you've read any books, man, by Robert Ludlum or Tom Clancy, you would understand what I'm talking about, man. It's like we watching something out of one of them, Robert Ludlum books where the KGB just running around at nighttime snatching people up. Snatching, this was written in books. Go read Tom Clancy. The Hunt for Red October and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? And they tell you in there how under the Russian president at the time, I guess they was trying to pattern it behind Mikhail Gorbachev at the time because a lot of these books was written in the 80s. You understand what I'm saying? But remember the maxim, whatever man can imagine, he has already put it into play or intends to put it into play. You understand what I'm talking about? Because we seeing it right here play out right here in our faces, man. You know what I mean? ICE running around with masks on, jumping out of unmarked cars, man, with pistols, automatic pistols, man. Come on, man. That'll scare anybody, man. That'll scare anybody. And then when we look at the players involved, the ones that's doing it are the Latinos. And so it's like they going against their own people, which we ain't strangers too, right? Because we already know how that go in the black community. We always find ways to stand against each other and to be against each other. Unfortunately, that's our reality. One that I don't wish upon nobody else. I don't wish to see these people going through nothing like that. But then, like I said, it's a slippery slope because you can't be messing up the job market, and then you can't be coming to the country killing people. You can't do that. No, that's not the majority of the people who they're considering to be illegals over here. The majority of them, like I said, is coming over here working. But in the work market, they are making it in a way where people can be sentimental toward what Trump and the Republicans are saying as far as, they are taking away or they are supplanting you inside the job market. That's a legitimate concern. That's a legitimate issue. That's a legitimate concern. Why? It's an issue because we're talking about money. And it's a concern because if we getting out there into the workforce, and I'm saying we reflecting all communities of color, because majority of the jobs that we get today are of a blue collar, nature. But nevertheless, what I'm saying is that, with regard to us, so now we looking at it like, yo, man, they supposed to be paying, 27 an hour, but you could go get the Ecuadorian and split that 27 three ways. So now they got 3 dudes working for a pay that they was only supposed to be paying 1 dude. Come on, man. Come on, man. That right there making people be like, nah, man, you right. They got to go. They got to go because now you talking to the majority of America, which is the middle class. That's working class people. Working class, not only inside those type of things, they do it everywhere. Like they got them everywhere because the Ecuadorian and the Mexican, they are some skillful and smart people. They are. And they hard workers. They hard workers. And so capitalists see it as they do. You understand? Saying, look, shit, I'm going to snatch this up. You know what I mean? For the low. We do it in everyday life. What I look like going to get a subcontractor, right? When I could go right over there to Home Depot, snatch me up 2 Mexicans and tell them, look, I need y'all to make me a patio on the back of my, I fixed the deck or whatever. I need you to do some plumbing, and I'm going to give you 20 an hour. They come over there and stay 3-4 hours. You give them $80. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Contractor probably wanted $250, $300. You understand what I'm saying? So we do it in our everyday life. I get that. You understand what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it's still an issue because now we're speaking to the greater good of what people are endeavoring for. And the greater good of what working class people are endeavoring for is for the loose. We want the money. I'm selling my muscles. I don't know what y'all doing. When I'm working and I'm moving stuff and I'm organizing stuff in my mind and I'm fixing stuff, I'm selling those skills. I'm not there because I'm just enjoying it. Yeah, I enjoy it because I like physical engagement when it comes down to work. I just love it. I'm not one of them guys that could just sit down in no office and stuff like that. I can't do it. I got to be hands-on. I got to be directing and pushing forward. You know what I'm talking about? But my endeavor, you see what I'm saying, toward its application, let me say that. My endeavor toward its application, right? I work for money. You see them saying it's hard to compete with the Ecuadorian who gonna say, look, I could bring 3 guys with me. So what you want to give to TankHead, you could give to these 3 guys. Who you think they gonna hire? The 3 guys. Because like I said, they are some hard-working people, man. The Ecuadorians, I take my hat off to them, man. The women and the men, hard-working people, man. I work with them. You know what I'm saying? When I first came home, I was doing construction. And I work with them in more than just construction. I work with them inside restaurants because I was working on a yacht for the dude Kerry Heffen that was on American Top Chef. But them people on that yacht was racist, and I had to get on up out of there. Can't play that. You understand what I'm saying? But the Ecuadorians was down there cooking up everything, y'all. They cook Italian. They was cooking soul food. I'm telling you, man, they are some skillful people. You see what I'm saying? But they don't demand more for their labor because they're in a precarious predicament. What's the precariousness of their predicament? They are illegally over here. They know that. The job owners know that. You understand what I'm saying? Construction contractors know that. And so what they do, you know what they do. They throw the bag at them and go, shh. and then they follow suit, and then it become a political issue. And so then now you get people like Donald Trump, like I said, which is ironic to me, because the Latino people are the ones that built all his structures, all of his buildings, man. The Latinos did that. New York City, the Latinos did that, boy. Believe that. Believe that. You understand? Saying nevertheless, we see it for what we is, and then now, like I said, herking it back. Nicki Minaj, the audacity of hypocrisy. Let me say that, because that's what it is. It's, it's like you audacious inside of standing hypocrisy. You telling other people, look, follow me, look what I did, y'all. But the whole time that you was able to get the faloosa or to get the funding up to do the things that you do, or the things that you're capable to do now, you got that when you was in illegal. Like, come on, man. Come on. That's literally, that's saying the pot calling the kettle black. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's crazy right there. You can't take no shot at nobody who is standing in a position that you once stood in. Nah, that is hypocrisy. That's like me right now. I got out of prison from doing 26 years in prison, and all I talk about is how much I hate guys in prison, and don't ever let guys in prison out because they don't deserve to be in the streets, because all of them are animals and they'll never, you see them saying, get right with society. None of them was about rehabilitation. I would never say nothing like that. I would never say nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? Because the understanding of that experience keeps me humble. Let me say that. The understanding of that experience would be the thing that would be keeping me humble. You understand? Saying something that I would never wish upon anybody, because I know what it means to stand in that place. Come on, man. You turn around and you see the sister talking like that, and what we supposed to do? Oh, just keep quiet, because to say something you hating. How am I hating? By pointing out to something that I think she should be privy about. You understand what I'm saying? If you care about somebody, then you should put them on point. I remember one time I read this maxim. I don't know if it was in the 48 Laws of Power, but it was in one of them books. And the maxim was about a little baby at the king's court. But for 3 days, the king came to his court stark raving naked. On the third day, the baby was like, yo, the king has no clothes. And so now for the 2 days, the king in contemplation thought, what about my closest advisors? What about my, my courtsmen, people who are supposed to be looking out for my best interest? Here it is on the third day in front of the crowd, right? Because they come all hell the king out. The innocence of baby has no clothes. Look at that, man. The king made the baby its heir, and all of his closest advisors he put to the sword. You understand what I'm saying? Listen to the wisdom in that. You see what I'm saying? Because his thing is, if you care about me, why you ain't put me on point and tell me I was naked? Right? How come you ain't put me on point and tell me I was naked? Come on. You supposed to care about me? Y'all care about this girl and watch her run around acting like an idiot. Come on, man. Any woman, especially a black woman, thinking herself to be a Barbie is out of her mind. There's nowhere in the world you could be Barbie. Black Barbie, is no such thing as that. That's some stuff that y'all made up. There's no such thing as no black Barbie. That's some stuff that y'all made up. Barbie is a white woman that never grow old, with blonde hair and blue eyes, and a boyfriend anytime she feel like it, but he gonna be Ken. So it's like they showing you how to be super independent and believe in that silly ass monogamy stuff. Shit is crazy, man. Shit is crazy, man. But a lot of people don't see, because without education and without information, you don't see through the same lenses that someone is able to see through who has education and information. You understand? Saying now you begin to see through a lens of emotions with your feelings. I feel like it ain't about what you feel like, love. We talking about what we know. We talk about the things that we know. That's it. You see, that is some bull to see ICE handling the people like that. Even more so when you understand, like I said, with education, you see Where does ICE get its funding from? ICE get its funding from the federal government. Where does the federal government get its funding from? The federal government get its money from federal taxes from the people. So now we see ICE mistreating people at the hands and by the hands of the people. That is crazy. Crazy. And we can't do nothing but vent about it in speech. You see what I'm saying? And even in speech, you got to make sure you don't say the wrong stuff, because your behind could be in trouble. You know what I mean? It's the type of time we going through right now. Trump going after journalists, boy. You know what I mean? Look at what he doing to Tim Walz. Tim Walz ran against him inside the presidential race with Kamala Harris. Look what he doing. Running all through his state on some straight vengeance. That's crazy, man. Running straight through his state on some straight vengeance. Word. That's crazy, homie. That's cold-blooded crazy, man. But this is what we dealing with, and this is why I'm saying that the thing with regard to that is vigilance, man. You need vigilance, man, because you ain't gonna have the cure. None of us have the cure. None of us have the answer. That's why we find entertainment in being able to point the finger, because none of us got the answer. None of us do. None of us. You understand the saying? And so inside a situation like that, you just got to make sure you stay vigilant, man. Just stay vigilant. You see what I'm saying? So this way you can make sure you making the right move that's going to secure you and yours, because that's really what it's about at the end of the day. That's what Trump doing. Trump securing his legacy, man. $1 million gold cards, man, to make you an instant citizen. We ain't never heard about that ever inside the history of this country. Not ever. Not ever. What? Barack could have been doing that. Why wasn't Barack doing this stuff? Executive order this, executive order that. We gonna flip this black. He ain't do none of that, y'all. He ain't do none of that, man. Well, listen, I'm about to let y'all go, man. I'm getting close to the host, man. I had a few minutes to share, a few minutes to spare, so I came to share. You know I like to rhyme and speak. That's just me. You understand what I'm saying? Nevertheless, I had a few minutes to spare, so I came to share. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all following me. If you missed it, that's on you. Because I'm talking about something more important and beautiful than them dudes who you be listening to. You understand saying? Subscribe to the channel. We right here, man, and we going to keep it funky. Because I believe a biased tongue is a lying one. And we ain't got that over here, y'all. Until then, meet again, go for the win. And we out.